Tuesday. Another episode of Girl, Get Off the Freaking Sidelines. Talking to you female online business owners, those of you who are in the online space building a brand, building a business. Hi, Carol. Tell me what your business is when you pop on. What do you do? Are you an online business? Let me know what your brand is, or your company, or your thing, whatever it is that you promote online. I'm all about bringing people together too, so let me know what you do and I will come check out your page and send people to you if I find a need to do that. So let me know. So today's all about your to-do list, you guys. So what I've decided, luxury beauty brand, I love it. And I love that word. So I have a girl that I coach who is with a hair product company, and she calls it a luxury beauty brand, and she calls it luxury hair care. And I just love that word because you know what that says to me? What that says to me, Carol, is quality, right? Like when I think luxury, I think Louis Vuitton. I think, Land Rover or Mercedes, right? And so I love that word, and I love that people use that word to promote their brand and what they do. So I'll come check out your page. And I think we're part of the mastery together, so that's awesome. So today, you guys, all about getting off the sidelines and getting into the CEO role of your business, your brand, whatever it is that you do, right? Whatever your passion project is, right? I was actually talking about this with my mentor yesterday, Kayla Craft, about my brand and how, what fires me up so much, and actually what's coming through me showing up online every day and putting out there my story and how I got into time blocking and how I transitioned from full-time network marketing into having the second coaching business that's lighting me up, collaboration camp, all the coaching that I get to do with women, is I'm realizing that it's morphing into something more than just time blocking, right? Time blocking is super important, and it's kind of like you almost have to be organized with your schedule and really understand how to time block and how to have good time management, how to master your day in order to do some of the other things that we have to do to run a business, right? So it's kind of almost like one of the foundational pieces of business ownership. So it's one little piece of success in entrepreneurship, success in online business. And what I'm getting lots of questions about and what I'm attracting is a lot of people who want to know how I launched a new business, made it super successful literally in the first 8 days that I launched it, and then turned it into this incredible coaching program, right? So a lot of people are like, how do you put it out there? How do you just show up boldly online and just go, just 3, 2, 1, jump, right? That's what I'm really good at, is just have an idea, it fires me up, I'm gonna jump in, and I'm gonna figure it out along the way. Do you have to have some things in place to do it? Yes. But do you have to have everything in place? No. You have to have drive, you have to be fired up, motivated, you have to have a strong reason why, right? And that's what I did the end of last year. So what this is morphing into is more like get off the sidelines and step into that role of CEO, right? Sidelines to CEO, like get out of the warming up the bench, for everybody else and watching everybody else play and standing off to the sidelines, right? So every day I'm bringing you guys daily lives related to what it's like to be stuck on the sidelines and what you can do about it. What are the things that you need to do in order to jump into the field, to get on the field and start playing, right? With everybody that you're watching, instead of just watching them, being part of the action. And so one of those things is how do you manage your to-do list? How do you manage in your schedule your to-do list of things that you have to do, right? So like I was looking at my schedule today, right? I have things like, I want to order this whitening toothpaste, right, that I want to try. So that's on there. It's not something that I need to time block, but it's something that I want to remember to do it, right? I need to order a gift for somebody that I want to get a gift for. So I have that as a reminder. I have to order checks. I'm out of checks, right? I don't write a ton of checks, but I like to have checks on hand. So it's not urgent. It's not super important. It doesn't need to be in my time blocked schedule, but I want to remember, right? So I have all these like random little things, schedule my tax appointment, like that kind of stuff, right? That are on my to-do list. There are things that we all have to do. Get a card for someone's birthday, right? Or maybe you have on your to-do list, to put away the laundry or pick up pet food or whatever it is, right? And we all have these lists, but what ends up happening is they get put on a sticky note somewhere, they get lost, Like if you're like me, I have sticky notes everywhere, right? Well, what I love about the planner that I use, and I coach women on getting organized with their schedule and learning how to time block using a paper planner, because I really believe there's a thing that happens when we actually physically write things down versus just getting on our phone and typing them in, right? Which is why I'm a big fan of paper planners versus digital calendars. I know there's a lot of people that use digital calendars. Yeah, all those little errands that we have to do, right? They feel like they're like heavy because it's like, oh, I have like a million things to do. But when you write them down, you realize like, oh, they're little things. And if I just am really good with my time, I can figure out time to do them, right? And I'm gonna actually go into that in a second on how do you tackle them. I can't remember where I was going. I got sidetracked. Oh, so teaching people in my course how to use a paper planner, because I really believe there's something that happens in the brain when we actually write things down. There's a hand-eye-brain connection that actually helps you remember things, and you remember writing them down. You remember you're actually committing to them, and you're kind of ingraining them in your mind as you're writing them down versus, we don't need another reason to be on our phones. We don't need to be another reason to be exposed to the blue light, right? So I love my paper planner because I can take it everywhere with me. I always have it. If my phone is dead, I don't have to worry that my calendar's on there. And it's always with me, right? I have total control over it. So I write everything in pencil so that I can erase, I can move things around if I need to. But getting back to the to-do list, there's a section in my planner for to-do list, personal to-do list, work to-do list. So I use that to write down some of the things that I need to do during the day or during the week that aren't urgent. They're not like burning things, but they need to get done, right? So how do I utilize my to-do list effectively? Here's what I do. And this comes in with learning how to time block. So when you get really good at time blocking, which is what I teach in my course or in my camp, is you learn to fit in, you learn to build in blocks of time in your week if you work from home, right? Blocks of time in your week where you have empty space, okay? And it's just basically like personal downtime. It's just personal empty space that's not assigned to anything, okay? It doesn't have a specific assignment. It just has a little block of time that's like breathing room for you to either do nothing and just regroup and, maybe meditate or maybe, just chill for a little bit. Or you can use that time to chip away at your to-do list. So this is why I love doing it this way, because I still feel like I'm productive. I have choices in what I'm gonna do with that personal time. I could either chip off something out of my to-do list, or I could call a friend and chat, or I could make time for something else that isn't already in my schedule, right? So that's how I chip away at my to-do list. I use it in a way that allows me to still be productive, but doesn't make my schedule feel so rigid that I'm like going all day long, all the time. I have a little bit of flexibility. So I have these blocks of time where I can breathe. If I need to take a break and what I need right now is a coffee and just a chill, then I'll use that time for that. Maybe I have another little block of time where I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get a couple things done right now that aren't pressing, but that I wanna check off my list. So I'll use that personal downtime to go run to Target and grab a card for the person I need to get a card for, or go online and order my checks that I need to order, right? Maybe one of the things is like do catch up on laundry or put clothes away or empty the dishwasher, right? I might see that on my to-do list and be like, ooh, boom, I could do that in like 10 minutes and check that off, right? So it feels really good because you're being productive, you're still doing things that you need to get done, but you also have a choice. You get to make a choice in that moment. What is it that you're gonna do? And when you have choices in your day, even small ones like that, it makes you feel so much more in control of your life. It makes you feel like you have freedom and you have flexibility. And why do we all work from home? Why do those of us that work from home and build a business from home, why do we do that? Because we want choices. We want flexibility. We want ease and flow, and we want to be able to kind of run our day how we want. So how do we run our day how we want? Hi, Hannah. We build in more flexibility within that rigid schedule where you are being more productive. You're still building in blocks of time where you have flexibility and you can just chill, right? Because I really believe that you can't be productive all day long, okay? You can't go for 10 hours a day, like just being in massive action, right? You might have bouts of time where you're hustling for something, or your business is in a really big launch or something like that, where you might be stone to the grind kind of thing for a couple of days. I have days like that. But ongoing, as a sustainable lifestyle, You want to build in both. You want to build in action time where you're like power hours, right? And that's what I do. I do power hours. So I sit down for an hour. I have my task that I need to do. If I have to set a timer to hold myself accountable to it, I do. And then I hammer out whatever is pressing, whatever I need to get done that I'm like procrastinating on or whatever. I block it out and I hammer it out, right? And then I build in space to breathe. I build in space to just cuddle my dog or, get on my stories and just hop on there or whatever, right? And so that is how you build a rigid, structured schedule that also feels really good. And it feels like you're building a life that feels good, right? Because it can't just be all about work. You have to have some play in there and you have to have some flexibility in there. So that is how I utilize my to-do list. Instead of it being this big daunting thing, instead of it being this big list that I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna do all of it on Saturday when I'm like not working or whatever, I will just chip away at it with little blocks of time, setting aside personal time during the day to do a few things. Because a lot of the stuff on our to-do list, you guys, is quick things that we can do. But when we're thinking about it, we think it's this big daunting task that's gonna take forever. Like I'm one of those people that will see a pile of clothes and I'm like, oh my God, and I'll avoid the pile of clothes for days. And I don't want to do it because I think it's going to take me like forever. And then I finally do it and it literally takes me like 15 minutes. And I'm like, what am I doing? Why did I procrastinate on that for a week? It feels so good that the clothes are put away and it literally took me 15 minutes. And I just got in my head about it and I didn't want to do it, right? So we have stuff like that on our to-do list where we're like, if we would just do it, we'd realize it's a lot easier than we're making it seem, right? Totally, right? So don't make your to-do list so daunting by making yourself feel like you have to do it all at once or you have to block out 3 hours to do all this stuff. Just drip it in throughout the week. Put in little blocks of time where you can, sorry, I had a call coming in. Personal time where you can choose what things you want to do, right? And you get to kind of get some stuff done at the same time so it still feels productive. The other suggestion I have for people that work in corporate America or you have a job that you have to show up to, like I have a client that owns a Pilates studio. Shout out to my girl Kate, who's in New Jersey. She has a network marketing business and she also runs a Pilates studio, okay? And so she has to be at her Pilates studio certain hours, like she has to drive there, be there, teach her classes and be there for her clients or whatever, right? So for her schedule looks a little different than mine. Mine is I work from home full time, so mine's a lot different. So for someone like her or for someone that works, again, like I said, a 9-to-5 job or a job where you have to go and you're there for several hours, you might choose to tackle your to-do list on the weekend. You might choose to have a day off where you're like, I'm gonna save all these things for Saturday afternoon or whatever and handle them then. If you work better that way, totally do that, right? But the goal is to have that to-do list written out in your planner so you can kind of see those things and you block out time on a Saturday to do 2 hours of to-do list stuff, right? And get it done if you work better that way. I leave 1 hour for when I get to the office to do my to-do list or whatever. Yep, exactly. That's awesome. Yeah, you have to block it out. You have to be intentional with your time. And that's one of the biggest things that I've learned and love about time blocking is you're more intentional with your time because you have down in your planner, what is this time set aside for? This isn't just like, you're not just gonna write work, right? You're gonna write prospecting or back office work, or this is what I do. When I block out my Isagenix time, I don't just put prospecting or building my Isagenix business. I put exactly what's the task that I'm gonna do. Follow-up calls. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Or if it's loving on my team or reaching out to my customers, then that's what it is, right? Or if it's hopping in my group and, doing a live in my group, then that's what I block it and I call it, right? So that when I get to my schedule and I look at it, I know exactly what I'm doing and I don't sit there going, well, I know I'm supposed to be doing something for my Isagenix business, but I'm gonna just get ready and shuffle some papers here and go in my back office and then check emails and then, before you know it, you're not really doing anything. Right? So being really specific and intentional with what is it you're doing in that time block for work stuff. And then for the personal time, you have that flexibility, right? You don't have to be as specific because it's personal time. It's downtime that you get to choose what you're going to do with that. Maybe you don't want to do to-do list stuff. Maybe you just want to meditate. Maybe you just want to take your dog for a walk or whatever, but you can do both, right? You can have a couple spots throughout the day where you're fitting in the things that you need to get done that aren't urgent but are important, right? Okay, let me read what you said, Carol. Then I do a chunk of work for my manager and then a lunch break is for the important stuff. Back to work for an hour, chunks of important things by minute. Yep. So that's good. You have your, it sounds like you have a job that you go to, but you also have some structure in there of like, this hour is for this is for that. That is awesome. And that's exactly what people who don't go to a job need, because those of us that work from home, we don't have any structure unless we create it. We don't have any urgency unless we create it. We don't have a boss. We don't have someone saying, you know, your lunch break is up. You know, we have to create that for ourselves. And that's what's really challenging when you're building an online business, is the discipline that we have to develop to show up as the CEO. Do the things when nobody's watching, right? All the things that make it all work, that make it all function for you when you're in front of people, are all the back office stuff, the behind the scenes stuff that nobody sees. Like, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? And I talked about this the other day, about how, shoot, I just lost my train of thought, because I want to read your thing here, Carol. What has worked and what hasn't. When you look back and see how productive you have been, yes, it's really good to reflect back. And this is another reason I love time blocking, because I highlight everything. I color code it, right? So that I have like a personal category. I have a work category for Isagenix. I have a different color work category for my coaching business. I have a color for my mastermind stuff. I have a color for my workouts. So I can literally see where my time went when I reflect back on the week. I know exactly what I did. And if I didn't reach my goals, or I didn't, you know, grow in this area of my life at all this week, I didn't have new customers, or I didn't increase my income, or I didn't get my workouts in, or whatever it was, I can see it really clearly because they're represented by colors. So it holds you accountable, and it's really good to see, where was I productive and where was I dilly-dallying, you know? And then you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself in your planner. If you planned to do something and you didn't do it, that you change it, you erase it, and you say, this was actually personal downtime. I wasted some time doing some scrolling or whatever. Be honest with yourself and change it, so that because you're gonna grow from that. You're gonna learn from that, and you're gonna say, okay, I am not moving forward in my business. This is why, because I'm not focusing on income producing activities, or I'm not doing the things I need to be doing, right? So it's kind of a mirror that we hold up to ourselves when we look at our schedules and we realize what we're really doing with our time and where our time is going. We waste a lot of time. I used to waste so much time getting ready to get ready, overthinking things, scrolling, watching what other people were doing, you know, and just, you could get zoned out doing that. And you just realize, you're like, wow, now I'm on YouTube watching a video of some random thing, right? And it started, and you're like, how did I get here? I click, and you go back, you're like, I clicked on this from this person's page and this, and before you know it, you're like, what? I'm like 7 steps away from where I started. And it's not good, right? Hey girl, what's up, Nancy? So today, all about to-do list, how to effectively tackle your to-do list. I gave some suggestions today about how you can do that. Share in, or send me a message. So if you're watching the replay, send me a message and let me know if this was helpful for you. If you're somebody who has trouble when you look at your to-do list and you get overwhelmed by it, if this was helpful for you to be able to see how you can kind of chip away at it in a way, and actually make it more about flexibility and choice for you, instead of this daunting task of, oh, I have to do all these things. Make it more of a like, hey, I get to do these things and I get to choose when I'm doing them. So I'm gonna make little spots in my schedule where I can go do these things and get them done, right? And it feels so good at the end of the day when you have some little check marks, right? And you got to get some things done. So I am gonna sign off, you guys. I'll be on tomorrow. I'm trying to think, I scheduled all these lives for noon Pacific, and then I realized when I did that, I had one day that I had to be on a call. I think it's tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow at noon. So I'm gonna be going live tomorrow a little bit early, but you can catch the replay. It'll be up for 24 hours. And then always these videos are uploaded to YouTube. So you can go, if you miss any of the episodes, I have lots of just different tips and stuff about being on the sidelines, getting ready to get ready, overthinking, you know, worrying what other people think about you, and just lots of different topics that I myself have experienced and broken through. So I'm helping you guys with, right? So a little bit about what's coming, you guys. I'm gonna be doing another course later this year. So if you're somebody who's interested in group coaching, if you missed the boat on Collaboration Camp, there's gonna be something coming later this week. You can always DM me or email me if you wanna talk and see if it'd be a good fit for you. If you're somebody that wants to get kind of on a waiting list. And that's it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. at around 11 o'clock Pacific for tomorrow's live. And I'll be bringing you guys some more tips. So have an awesome, beautiful day. And Nancy, awesome job on showing up and getting yourself organized. I'm so excited for you. Nancy's in my collaboration camp, so she's one of the badass ladies that is taking ownership of her business and stepping into that CEO role, and she's gonna kill it. So super excited for you, girl. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.